Hello traders, good evening. Welcome to the post market analysis and trading plan of the coming session, which is Friday. Before we move ahead, please understand that all the contents of this video is only for your educational or learning purposes, and I'm not here to give you any buy or sell advice as I'm not registered with the regulatory board. Please make sure to read the risk disclaimer in the description fully. Now, today was the weekly expiry day, and after quite a few days of consolidation, we got to see a large trending move in the markets. I have my Nifty futures chart 15 minutes time frame with the session volume profiles and a composite profile to the left. I used a custom profile on today's price range as there is some issue with the session profile. So if you notice, after making narrow range days for quite a few sessions, especially in Nifty futures, you could see that the profile structure on 13th was value was to the upper side, and then on 14th value was to the upper side with a higher closing, indicating that there was some sort of demand in the markets by EOD. But if you look at today's profile, their markets tried to break out through the pivot high. Let me mark the pivot high properly. Markets tried to break out through the swing high, but then they started coming down right at open. So if you notice at the end of the day today, we have a profile structure where the markets closed at lows, plus the value is also to the lower end, indicating that there is strong selling seen in the markets at this point of time. So for now, until at least the value area high, which is around today's value area high, which is around 18,800 futures area is taken out, I am not bullish on Nifty futures. I'm expecting it to move further down and test this balance area first, the previous balance area at least 18,700, and below 18,700 is where I'm expecting a larger down like we saw in Bank Nifty. So the next line of defense for Nifty futures at this point of time is 18,697, 18,700. But if at all this is taken out, then we can see a larger down move till the composite profile lows of 18,382. Again, even this is not a big deal. We had a good up move so far, and after any good up move, a healthy bit of a correction is necessary. So if markets does this area, this is where I will be review and see if bulls are defending the down move, or if there is a good chance we can again come back and go down and test 18,380 to 18,400 futures reference. Now, let's have a look at the structure of Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty is personally more interesting than Nifty. If you see, we had quite a few sessions of balance to the upside. If you notice in Bank Nifty, so this entire area of balance was taken out today, right in the morning, by these fresh sellers. If you notice, even in Bank Nifty, we closed at lows, and the profile structure is to the downside, a B-shaped profile, indicating that value is to the lower end. This is a very strong selling pattern as per volume profile. And this happened literally after 8 to 10 sessions of balance. That is, all the buyers who try to accumulate in this area are now taken out. They have unwinded their positions. For now, the bare minimum for me is that 43,900 futures has to be taken out before I put on any fresh long trades at this reference, and any pullback into this volume profile structure I will be using it to sell the rises than to go long at this point of time until 43,900 is taken out. So what is the fair value, or what is the average that I'm looking at, the price that I'm looking at, where it would be a good idea to look out for Bank Nifty longs at this point of time? the bare minimum reference that I'm looking at is 42,900 at least. Once this balance structure is taken out. So the interesting part in Bank Nifty is that we had an up and then we had a balance. You can see a consolidation. Even the profile structures are indicating balance, most of them, if not all of them. And then we had an expansion from balance, and again we saw one more balance. So right now, this is a failure. Longs failed to hold their initiation after this up move. So the longs who have built up their positions in this consolidation are now at a risk of unwinding or liquidation. So if this low is taken out, the low of 42,400 futures is taken out, then I'm expecting a move from 43,400 to 42,900. Another 500 pointer down move is where I will be reviewing for good long opportunities, or if we cross 43,900 to the upside. But in between this is a very good distribution structure that is forming in Bank Nifty. So the context right now does not call for longs unless we reach either of the references that I mentioned. If you see, if you want to understand what's the average price of say the buying and selling activity that happened, and if you use AVWAP, let's say from the pivot lows of 39,330, let me remove the standard deviation bands so that it'll help you. If you see, even AVWAP is around 42 to 213. After a good up move, it is also flattening at this point of time. So 42 to 50 is quite far away at this point of time. This is where the real deal, those longs who actually matter, will be at a huge risk. So right now, there's nothing to worry from a higher time frame perspective. The directional move to the upside is still intact. It's just that after a good up move, a good upside rally, we are seeing a mild correction of that to one session. Of course, the reason why it becomes all the more important is because after quite a few consolidation days, we saw a range expansion, but we need to see more before we can come to a plausible conclusion whether there is a trend change on a short-term basis or not. For now, we did see decent distribution for today, and make a note of the references that I shared so that it will help you, it will guide you well. So I've been getting quite a few questions about what exactly I looked at in order flow today to mark the selling right at open, because I did share that right at 916, 917 we did see large sellers coming into picture. If you see, this is the opening bar that that formed in Bank Nifty. If you look at the bid side, when you compare the bid versus offer, you always need to look one up offer. You can see how the bids are substantially larger than the offers. If you see 350, 380, 215, 1154, 197, 726, 65. Only let's say out of 10 blocks, maybe 2 to 3 blocks have offers are higher than the bids. So that's the reason why I look at it collectively, but not on an individual basis. And then once this, you saw the formation of this large bar with a substantial number of sellers to the lower end of the bar, you could see that in this pullback, the volumes were hardly present. 70 contracts, all right, POC 900 contracts, which is decent. Again, 300 contracts, 30 contracts, 140. You can see that in this pullback that we saw when you compare it with the initial down bar that came, order flow shows lower volumes. So this is something that I will always be on the lookout for in such cases until the bars high, or at least these areas where a large number of sellers had come in, until these guys are taken out, one should not be attempting any kind of reversal trade in the markets, because this is what it ultimately comes down to, that your ability to read the tape on a real time basis. Just a moment. Rectangle, if you notice. So this is how I usually look for large volume areas, and you can see that the a location from where sellers had initially struck, and that is exactly the same point from there. where they started aggressively selling again. Now if you look at these bars, you can again see how in this down move the volumes are substantially higher. Again, look at things on a collective basis. Look, take a step back and look at the bigger picture than nitpicking orders. You can see how the orders are much more consistent, with the candle POCs being at the lower end, which indicates strong selling plus follow through down move. So when you compare the the initial pullback volumes with the down move volumes, these are lower, which indicates a weak pullback, and these sellers who initiated shorts first defended their positions, so they started selling again at the same area. And then when this continued sell side move had come in, again these volumes are on a collective basis higher compared to this pullback. So all in all, this indicates, plus the most important thing is the context. The context shows you that this particular 5 minutes bar and itself took out previous day's low. So this itself shows you that sellers meant business today. So I hope this video is useful. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It will motivate me in making more videos. And yeah, check out the links in the description and in the pinned comment for my Twitter and Telegram handle. Thank you.